We are looking at class 12 chapter number 2, inverse trigonometric functions. We have seen in the previous class that for any function f, the inverse is written as f inverse, and this only exists when this f is 1, 1 and onto. That is, this function is bijective. This is very important. Whole chapter will talk about this only. 1, 1 and onto. That means if the function is not 1, 1 and onto, we will not talk about the inverse. So the trigonometric functions, as we have seen in the previous discussions, in the natural domain and the ranges, the inverse does not exist. Please understand, for trigonometric functions in the natural domain, the inverses generally don't exist. So what we will do here is, we'll take that domain and range and restrict that domain and range for which the inverse of the trigonometric function exists, and we'll also discuss some elementary properties. As far as calculus is concerned, this inverse trigonometric function plays a very vital role, and the science and engineering also, they utilize the concept of inverse trigonometric functions. Trigonometric functions, the basic trigonometric functions like the sine, cos, tan, cot, sec, cosec. For sine function, the sine is, this is the range. That means the value sine x, whatever value you give to x, the sine x will produce the value from -1 to 1. Similarly, cosine will also produce for any cos theta value from -1 to 1. So this is the range. This is the range. Now for tangent function tan, because tan is sine by cos, so anything which is in whole chapter and in mathematics also, you have to understand that we will never allow anything as denominator 0. Denominator 0 is never acceptable. So sine by cos, cos is negative, cos is 0 where? When the value is odd multiple of pi by 2. For any odd multiple of pi by 2, cos always becomes 0. Since sine by cos 0 means cos 0 is 0, so this is undefined. So we just remove, that is all this r, means it will give you all real number except this. So this is the range. From this also, cotangent, because this is cos by sine, so we will never allow sine x to become 0. That means we will not allow x to become n pi. That is why we are removing this, subtracting this value from whole r. Secant plays the similar role because secant is nothing but 1 by cos theta. Cos theta we will never allow to be 0. So this odd multiple of pi by 2 is not acceptable, so we will remove r minus this, and also r minus, because the range is, because you see cos gives you value from -1 to 1. So 1 by cos, apart from -1 to 1, it will give you all value, and these two are not inclusive. This square bracket means the values here are inclusive. Round bracket means the values here are non-inclusive. For cosecant or cosec, similar discussion goes. Cosecant is 1 by sine. Sine we don't want to be 0. So all the values where sine is 0, that is all n pi, we will remove it, r minus, and the range will be all value which is it is going to give you all value except -1, between -1 and 0, -1 and 1. For any function f which is x to y, these x and y are set. Just understand like this. This is set x, this is set y. So we are talking about this. For any function x to y, if fx equal to y, if this is 1, 1 and onto, that means we can define a g the f is from x to y. G we can define y to x because it is 1, 1 and on 2, such that if fx equal to y, then gy will be equal to x, where this x belongs to this capital X and y belongs to capital Y. So the domain of G is range of f, means the domain of f is the range of G and the domain of G is the range of f, and vice versa. So the function G is called the inverse of f. This is nothing but inverse of f, and we'll denote it by f inverse. I hope you understand. We are talking about f, that is x to y. We are defining a function G from y to x, and we are saying that G is nothing but the inverse of f if and only if this f is 1, 1 and on 2, and we'll write G as nothing but f inverse. If G is also 1, 1 and on 2, then inverse of G is what? F. G inverse is what? G is nothing but f inverse. F inverse of inverse is f inverse cancels out, so f. So what we see here is f inverse of f, that is f inverse of fx, is nothing but this fx is y. F inverse of y is x, if you see here. Again, f of f inverse of y is nothing but x. F of x is y. And since the domain of sine function is all real number, sine domain means nothing but sine x, what value this x can take? This is the domain. So domain of sine is all real number. You can give any value, there is no problem. But the range is a closed interval. That means the value will come from -1 to 1, -1, 1 inclusive. So when we restrict, because the domain is a full real number, as we said, that the trigonometric function, they will give you, because they are so continuous, then they are not 1 and on 2. So we have to restrict certain domain. All real number we cannot take. So we'll restrict the domain to -π/2 and π/2. This is the domain. So it will become 1, 1 and on 2. I'll show you how it becomes 1, 1 and on 2. With range, this again the range is -1 to 1. If you give cos -π/2, it will give -1. Sine. If you give sine π/2, it will give you 1. Sine 90 is what? Sine 0 is 0. Sine 90 is 1. Sine -90 is -1. So again it is corresponding to our -1 to 1. So we can take this also as the domain. Actually, this is not the only domain. We can take various domain. This one, this one, this one. These are all 180 degree apart. And these all partitions, you can say, is 1, 1, and they have range of -1 and 1. You can take sine π/2, you can take sine 3π/2, you will get -1 and 1. So we can define the inverse of sine function for each of these interval only, so that the inverse is existing. For whole sine, inverse doesn't exist. For this partition, inverse does exist. We denote the inverse of sine function by sine inverse. We also call it as arc sine function. Sine inverse is nothing but arc sine function. So this sine inverse is a function whose domain is what? -1 to 1, and we can take any of these as the interval. For the range could be any of the interval. See, sine theta has the range as -1, 1, but sine inverse, because it is inverse, the domain of sine inverse is -1 to 1, and the range can be this, this or this. See, the arc sine or inverse has changed the domain and range of sine. So for each interval we get a branch. This is a branch, this is a branch, and you'll see in the diagram. You get a branch, but the branch which is corresponding to this, the branch corresponding to this range is called the principal value branch. We'll take it as a principal value branch. Other intervals, they are also branches of sine inverse. I am not denying it, but for the computation purposes, for the inverse purposes, we'll take this as a principal branch. So when we refer to sine inverse as a function, we take it as the function whose domain is minus 1, 1. Please understand, sine inverse domain is minus 1 to 1. For sine, it was the range. But for sine inverse, this is the domain. And the range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Both inclusive. So sine inverse, this is the range, this is the domain, and this is the range. Domain, range. Sine inverse can take value from minus 1 to 1, or both inclusive, and it will give you value from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. It can give you another value also, but will not take it. Will take only value from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Because this what we have decided. This will be our principal value branch. And from the inverse function definition, sine of sine inverse is what? Sine inverse cancel. It is x. X lies between minus and 1, as we just saw. And sine inverse sine x means if it is equal to x, if x lies between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. Because sine inverse sine x means sine inverse, this we can take as theta. Sine inverse theta, that means theta, the theta can be given, or this is the range is going to be minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Y is equal to sine inverse x means take sine inverse here, sine y equal to x. Please understand that fx is invertible function. We call it as f inverse y. And the graph of sine inverse and cos inverse, you will see, if you just interchange x and y axis, you will get the graph of sine inverse. Means take sine graph and just invert the x and y axis, you will get the graph of sine inverse x. You just have to interchange the x and y axis. So see the diagram or graph now. Now you will understand what we have discussed. First of all, let me tell you, if I take from 0 to pi, if I take 0 to pi or 0 to say 2 pi as my principal value branch, or any of this in between. See, corresponding to this value and this value, there will be y. So this will be not 1 to 1. 1 to 1 means this value is the value of this. Say the domain of this will give you exact range value, and here also it should give you a unique value, but these two are corresponding to the same value. So therefore we cannot take this. We can take minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now here for this particular area, if I take this value in positive, this value in negative, I'll get a unique value of y-axis. See, that is why from this range, from this point to this point, we have a unique value. That means this function will be 1, 1 and onto, that is bijective. Right? I hope you got the idea. So this is y equal to sine x. Sine theta is sine 0 is 0. Sine pi by 2 is 1. It goes from minus 1 to 1. This is the whole, you can say the range of sine theta. Range of sine theta will be the domain of sine inverse theta, and the domain of sine theta, what is the domain of sine theta? All real number. But for sine inverse, we will not take all real number. We will restrict ourselves to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. I am just interchanging the x-axis with y-axis. Now this x and y we have interchanged, and this is, again, if your eyes are here, then you see it just like a sine curve. But if your eyes are right now, the way you are seeing or watching, this is your sine inverse x. And this portion from here to here, pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, this is our principal value branch. And minus 1 to 1, this is going to be your domain, and range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay? If you want to see them together, y and x, you see that they are nothing but the mirror reflection. Y equal to sine x and y is equal to sin inverse x are, they are mirror reflection. That means for this particular range, this area, they are invertible, and they are inverse of one another. Sine function, we have cosine function also. Cosine function also has the domain as all real number. The range of cosine is -1 to 1, similar to sine. So here again we restrict the domain of the cosine function from 0 to pi, because for all real number the cosine function will not be 1, 1 and on 2. For this range, or this, there are various ranges. For this range, the sine function will be 1, 1 and on 2, and for that we can compute the inverse. And we are talking about inverse trigonometric function. So the range would be the range would be -1 to 1. This is okay, because cos 0 and cos pi, it will give you -1 and 1. Cosine, this is not the only thing. Cosine can be restricted from -pi to 0, 0 to pi, pi to 2 pi, because for this range it is going to give you -1 and 1 value, means the range will be this for this partition. Now we'll do one thing. If we want to find out the cos inverse, this is all about cos. But when we want to talk about cos inverse, that is our cosine function, the range of cosine will become the domain of r cosine, and the range and domain of r cosine will be the range and domain, means the invert. Domain and range of cosine will be range and domain of the r cosine, right? The cos inverse is a function. Now, what was the range of cos? It was -1, 1. So cos inverse, the domain will become the domain, that is the range of cos will become the domain of cos inverse, and we are restricting ourselves to these partition, because we want inversion, and inversion is only possible when we have 1, 1 and on 2. So what we'll do here is we'll take this one as we'll restrict ourselves to 0 to pi. This is called the principal value branch. So now cos inverse can be defined as, this is the domain. Cos inverse can take, that means if I do cos inverse x or cos inverse theta, this theta can take value from -1 to 1, and the range would be, means the value it will provide, cos inverse theta will be from 0 to pi. 0 and pi are inclusive. And if you see the graph, cos x is like this, and we are restricting ourselves to 0 to pi. Why we are restricting? Why we are not taking this to this, or this from this to this? See, if I take this to this range, this point, this value and this value will correspond to the similar value here, so of y-axis, and that will nullify, or that will contradict to our assumption of inversion, because this will not be 1, 1. We want 1, 1 or 2. That is why we are taking from 0 to pi. If I take this value, I'll get a unique y value. If I take this value, I'll get a unique y value. So now I hope you understood. The cos inverse would be nothing but you just have to rotate it 90 degree. This portion will be your principal value branch for cosine or r cosine. The domain of r cosine will be -1 to 1, and the range will be 0 to pi. Cosec inverse, sec inverse. Cosec inverse we'll see first. Cosec is nothing but 1 by sin x. So when we discuss about cosec x, this is 1 by sin x. That means we don't want anything in the denominator to be 0. So the domain of cosec x function will be all the values of r, x, except any value which makes sin x as 0. And the values which make sin x or x, the value of x which makes sin x 0 is n pi. So we don't take it. And the range is, because sin x is from -1 to 1, the cosec x will be other than -1 to 1. No values in between, right? Inclusive of this, that means y will be greater than equal to 1 or y will be less than equal to minus 1. If you take the number line, this is the number line, minus 1, 1, all these values will be in the range. That is, we can write these are real number minus these, the values which are inside this range. I'm not talking about that range which we discussed. This is just the value from minus 1 to 1. So this means that y is equal to cosec x will assume what values? All values except any values between this. So y between minus 1 to 1 it will not take. And for any this integral multiple of pi, it is also not defined. What we will do? We will try to restrict the domain of cosec function to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Why? Because cosec function is nothing but a 1 by of sin x. So it will be some function and the whole function will not be 1 1 on 2. We have to take certain part which is 1 1 and on 2. So we have taken this except 0. We will not take 0. I'll tell you why this will not take 0, because sin 0 is 0 and this will be a problem. So 1 1 and on 2 except 0 minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 we can take. And the range will be what? The range of cosec is all r except means minus 1 to 1 values in between, nothing. So the cosec functions we can restrict not only here, but we can restrict, or the intervals can be minus 3 pi by 2 to minus pi by 2 except minus pi, because we don't want n pi. This n is an integer. It can be minus also, it can be positive also. In the same case here, this one, we can take pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. Again, just ignoring pi. In these partitions, the cosec x will be bijective, and the range will be all the real numbers except between minus 1 and 1. So cosec inverse, we know that for the inverse function, the domain and range will be the range and domain of the actual function. Now here, cosec inverse, the domain will become what? The range of cosec, that was this. So this will be the domain of cosec inverse, r except minus 1 to 1. And range could be any interval except these values, because this will make the denominator 0. Previously we saw. So we will take this partition, this range actually, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0. And we will call it as a principal value branch of cosec inverse. So finally, for cosec inverse or inverse cosec function, the range will be all values or real values except from minus 1 to 1, and the range will be minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0. Okay. So the graph of y is equal to cosec x and cosec inverse x will be like the previous class. And now this y is equal to cosec x, this is the graph. Cosec inverse x is nothing but you just have to turn it 90 degrees. And we are talking about this from here to here, no 0. We are eliminating 0. We are not taking 0 from minus pi by 2 to this point, and from this point to minus pi by 2 except this 0. This is the, one is the domain, one is the range. So this pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, and there will be the value from minus 1 to 1. This, see, except minus 1 to 1, all the values will be can be taken except minus 1 in between 1. So we know the range and domain also. Sec x. Sec x is nothing but 1 by cos x. Again, we don't want anything in the denominator to be 0. Cos x. So x, for what value of x, this cos will be 0. That is, this sec x will be undefined. All the real number set except this x, which is the odd multiple of pi by 2, where n is z, n belongs to z, that is the integer set. And the range will be what? All the values except between minus and 1. That means the sec will assume all real values except in between this, and this is not defined for any odd multiple. This is the odd multiple. 2n plus 1 by 2 is odd multiple of pi by 2. So what we'll do here is we will restrict the domain of secant function to 0 to pi minus except this. Why? We cannot take whole sec function. Sec function, if we take whole, it will not be 1 1 1 2. For 1 1 1 2, we have to restrict ourselves. So we are restricting 0 to pi, which makes the secant function 1 1 and 1 2 with the range r except between minus 1 and 0. So secant function restricted to any of this. This is not the only case. You can restrict it to this. See, all the odd multiple of pi by 2 has been ignored. Now this is projecting. Now this is 1 1 and 1 2, and its range will be all the values except between minus 1 and 1, because the domain and the range of the inverse function is the range of the domain of the actual function. So sec inverse can be defined as a function whose domain is now the range of sec. Okay, that is all the values except between minus 1 and 1, and the range you can take any of this range will take. Let us take this one as the principal range. We'll take it as a principal value branch. This is called as a principal value branch. So 0 to pi minus pi by 2, because for pi by 2 it is going to be undefined. So we have sec inverse now. This is the final verdict. Sec inverse, the range is all the values, means this sec inverse x. X can take any value except between minus 1 and 1, and this sec inverse will provide a value, whole complete value between 0 to pi except pi by 2. If you see the graph, this is the seconds, and if you see the graph, we have just inverted it to one, say 90 degree. See here, we have taken 0 to pi as the principal value branch. This and this is our actual range for which this function is 1 1 and 1. You see this pi by 2 is not taken because pi by 2, see this graph, this line is not touching pi by 2, this line is not touching pi by 2. Apart from this, if you take this point and this point, this is between minus and 1. So the range, the domain cannot be between minus 1 and 1. Apart from this, any value can be taken. Here, not possible. And this is the domain, and the range is, as we have seen, we just have to restrict it up to 0 to pi. Tan and cot. Tan inverse and cot inverse. Tan function, we know it is nothing but sine by cos. So anything which makes cos 0 is not defined. It will not take it. So what makes cos 0? The x is the odd multiple of pi by 2. So the range of tan is nothing but all the value of r except the odd multiple of pi by 2. And this means tan is not defined for odd multiples of pi by 2, because this will make cos 0, and which we don't want. Now restrict the domain of tangent to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Because between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, we cannot take whole tan function, because it will not be 1 1 1. We have to take a part of tan function, tan graph, or tan, you can say tangent wave. That part is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This makes it 1 1 and 1 2 with its range as all the real. The tangent function can be restricted to this. It can be any. There are plenty of the partition, but we have to take any one of them so that in computation we can use it. So what we'll do, we'll take this one. We'll take this one and we'll call it as a principal value branch. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now the tan inverse function, see, the domain of tan will be the range of tan inverse. The range of tan will be the domain of the tan inverse. So for tan inverse, we have this x. We have taken the branch of partition as minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this is the graph of y equal to tan x. If you see here properly, you see that this graph never touches pi by 2, because for pi by 2, this tan sin x by cos x. This cos x will become 0, so it will never touch. It will just go like this, it will go like this. For these two values, it is undefined. That is why it is not touching. Similar is the case for y equal to tan inverse. You just have to invert it 90 degree. So this will be your tan inverse. You see, we have taken this one. It never touches minus pi by 2 or pi by 2. This is our principal value branch. So what is the range and what is the domain and range? see, it can take any value. It can take any value. But apart this pi by 2 and minus pi by 2, this we have restricted. This will be our range. Chord function, how to take invert or inversion of inverse of chord function. The domain of chord is nothing but chord is what? Cos by sine. Cos x by sine x. So we can never have this sine x 0. For any value of x for which this sine x becomes 0 is not acceptable. And for which value of x this sine becomes 0 for x equal to n pi. So the domain of chord will be all values of all real number values except the n pi. We'll just not take this. The range is all the real numbers. That means the cotangent function is not defined for the integral. This that is integral multiple of pi. So what we'll do, we'll restrict the domain of cotangent to 0 to pi, because we cannot take whole chord function. That will not be 1, 1 and 1, 2. For 1, 1 and 1, 2 to be bijective and to actually get the chord inverse, we will restrict the domain to be 0 to pi. So in fact, the cotangent function can be taken, the inverse can be taken any of these. But we'll restrict to this, we'll call it as a principal value branch. Okay. So chord inverse now, for chord inverse, this was what? This was the domain. Now for chord inverse, this will become the range. So the range of chord inverse will be 0 to pi. If you take the range is this, and domain can be anything, right? So the chord inverse and chord function are like this. See, in this chord, it never touches 0 or pi. It will never touch it, because for this is undefined. And if you just overturn and flip it, you just turn 90 degree and just flip it, you will get the graph of chord inverse. And if you see here properly, this is our function, chord inverse. It never touches 0. It will, the restriction is 0 to pi. The restriction is pi to 3 pi by 2 pi. The restriction is minus pi to 0. So you can take any, but we will take this as a principal branch. And the domain is 0 to pi, but the range is any real number. So this is the summary you can say of the inverse trigonometric function principal value branches. For sine inverse, the domain is minus 1 to 1, cos inverse also minus 1 to 1, but the range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This is we have taken as principal value branch. These are all principal value branch. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, cos inverse 0 to pi. For cosec inverse and sec inverse, the domain will be all the real numbers except between minus 1 and 1, same here. And the range will be minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0, and 0 to pi except pi by 2. For tan inverse, the domain can be any r, but the range could be only minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 and 0 to pi. Please understand, sine inverse x and sine x inverse, they are two different things. In fact, the sine x inverse or sine x to the power minus 1 is 1 by sine x. And whenever you are not provided any branch, you have to always take the principal value branch. And the value of inverse trigonometric function which lie in the range of principal value branch is called as the principal value of that inverse trigonometric function. Let us take a few examples. Find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2. See, what you will do in the normal case, you will do sine inverse 1 by root 2 as theta. You will take sine theta. If it is 1 by root 2, you will look at the table and you will say that theta is this theta. Right? But here this is not the case. When you will do sine inverse to 1 by root 2, sine by 1 by root 2, we know that this has to come in between 1 by root 2 has to come between the principal branch of sine, which is nothing but minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. It can only belong here. And since this pi by 4, because we know that sine pi by 4 or sine 45 degrees is 1 by root 2. And since it is lying between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, that is why we are saying the answer is pi by 4. I hope you got the idea. The answer is pi by 4. Even if you do in this way, the answer will be 1 by root 2. But I'm suggesting you that when you are taking sine inverse, you have to get the answer in between this principal branch. I will give you another example. Principal value of cot inverse. See, cot inverse is minus 1 by root 3. So what we'll do here is, let us see. Cot inverse is minus 1 by root 3. This is equal to y. Take cot here. Cot pi is minus 1 by root 3. But we know that the principal branch is 0 to pi for cot. If we know that 1 by root 3 is cot pi by 3. This we know. Cot 3, this is 60, 180. So cot 60 degree is 1. Cot 60 is 1 by root. There is no problem as such. But we'll take this, we'll write cot pi by 3 here, minus. We'll take minus inside. We know that cot pi minus theta is minus cot. So cot pi minus pi by 3. This becomes 2 pi by 3. Now, this 2 pi by 3 is in the range of 0 to pi, which is our principal value. So we can say cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 is 2 pi by 3. This is how we have to compute. Properties of inverse trigonometric functions. We have seen about various trigonometric functions, and we have also talked about at length the domain and range of various trigonometric functions. What is the criteria of being inverse? This we have already seen. And just recall that when we have y is equal to sine inverse x, when we are saying sine inverse x is y, that means sine y is equal to x. You can take sine here, sine y equal to x. If you are saying that x is equal to sine y, then you can always say that sine inverse x is equal to y. So y is equal to sine inverse x. And also sine of sine inverse x is x. That means when you have this as some theta, so we are talking about sine theta. Now this is going to give you result, or this value can only be giving you result of certain range. But when you are talking about sine inverse x, this x will only belong, or the range, or you can say the domain of this x will be from minus 1 to 1. When you are doing this, x has to belong between minus 1 and 1. But when we are talking about sine inverse of sine x, now we are talking about the x angle which is inside sine. So now x can take value from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This is our principal value branch. And there are various inverse trigonometric functions, the properties of this inverse trigonometric function, because once the one part is known to you, you can easily devise or prove the other part. Well, I'll show you how. The first property is sine inverse 1 by x will be equal to cosec inverse x. Sine inverse 1 by x will be equal to cosec inverse x. How? Let me take cosec inverse equal to y. That means x is equal to cosec y. What this means? This is x is equal to 1 by sine y. Take sine y here, x here, denominator. So sine y will be 1 by x. What will be sine inverse 1 by x? That will be your y. And what was y? It was cosec inverse x. See. So sine inverse 1 by x became cosec inverse x. Similarly, you can prove it for cos inverse 1 by x is equal to sec inverse 1 by x, and tan inverse 1 by x is equal to cot inverse x. But here, when we are dealing with x which is inside cosec inverse, the value will be not between minus 1 and 1. Similarly for the sec inverse x also. But cot, the value shouldn't be, the value should be greater than 0. Sine inverse minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. Then we have sine inverse minus x will be equal to minus sine inverse x, where this x lie between minus 1 and 1. So similarly for tan inverse x also, tan inverse minus x will be equal to minus tan inverse x, and cosec inverse minus x will be equal to minus cosec inverse x. Let us prove one of them so that you understand. First of all, this sine inverse minus x, let us equate it to y. What it means, take it here. Sine inverse this sine y will be equal to minus x, right? That means take minus here. X is equal to minus sine y, and you know that sine minus theta is equal to sine theta. So let us equate this minus inside. So x equal to sine minus y. Now take sine here. Again take both sides sine inverse. So sine inverse x will be equal to minus y. But what was y? What was y? It was sine inverse minus x, and minus is already here. So we get sine inverse minus x. Take minus here. Sine inverse minus x will be equal to minus sine inverse x. Next is cos inverse minus x is equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Similarly, sec inverse minus x is equal to pi minus sec inverse x, and cot inverse minus x will be equal to pi minus cot inverse x. Let us prove one of them. So cos inverse minus x is equal to y. Let us take it as y. Now take cos here. So minus x will be cos y. Take minus here. X will be equal to minus cos y. And we know that cos pi minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. So if you can take minus inside, you can just write it pi minus y. Now take cos here, means cos inverse x. Cos inverse x will be equal to pi minus y. Then take this pi here, right? And you see that even if you don't take, you can just place y equal to cos inverse minus x here. So this cos inverse x will be equal to pi minus this one, that is cos inverse minus x. And now take this here on the left hand side, take this here on the right hand side. So cos inverse minus x becomes pi minus cos inverse x. And this is how you can prove others also. Sin inverse x plus cos inverse x will be equal to pi by 2. And similarly for tan cot, pi by 2, cosec sec, addition of inverse of them is pi by 2. But you need to understand about the range of x also. You know, this also plays a very vital part in the questions to follow. Sin inverse x, this one, let us take sin inverse x as y. So what will be your y? Take sin here. X will be equal to sin y. And we know that cos pi by 2 minus theta is equal to sin theta, and also sin pi by 2 minus theta is equal to cos theta. So for sin y, we can write cos pi by 2 minus y. Take cos here, means cos inverse x will be pi by 2 minus y. But what was y? It was sin inverse x. Place it here. This becomes cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2 minus sin inverse x. Now take sin inverse x on the left hand side. That makes sin inverse x plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2. Similarly, you can prove the second and third part also. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. Now you have to understand the first derivation very clearly, because the others are exactly like this. You just have to replace x and y, y with x and certain like this. I'll just tell you. But first of all, you just have to see this. We know that tan theta plus phi is nothing but tan theta plus tan phi by 1 minus tan theta tan phi. This relation we are going to use. First, take this tan inverse x as theta, tan inverse y as phi. So what this x will be? X will be tan theta and y will be tan phi. So x will be tan theta, y will be tan phi, right? Now we know that tan theta plus phi, this is tan theta plus tan phi by 1 minus tan theta tan phi. In this tan theta, what we can replace? We can replace x here. Tan phi we can replace y. Similarly here. So this becomes tan theta plus phi is equal to x plus y by 1 minus xy. Take tan here. So tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy will be theta plus phi. But what was theta? It was tan inverse x. What was phi? It was tan inverse y. tan inverse x plus tan inverse y becomes tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. For getting this result, or to get this result, what you have to do here is you just replace y with minus y. You replace y with minus y here. This will be minus y, this will be minus, this will be plus. So you get this result. Tan inverse minus y will be minus tan inverse y. Okay. Now 2 tan inverse x, place in place of y x here. So tan inverse x plus tan inverse x will be 2 tan inverse x, and this will be x, this will be x. So x plus x is 2x, and 1 minus x into x is 1 minus x square. This is the result. 2 tan inverse x is equal to sine inverse 2x by 1 plus x square. Similarly, 2 tan inverse x is equal to cos inverse 1 minus x square 1 plus x square, and 2 tan inverse x will be equal to tan inverse 2x by 1 plus x square. How to solve this? I'll tell you one of these, and you will be able to understand how to solve the others also. How? See, tan inverse x, let us take it as y. So what will be x? X will be tan y. Now, sine inverse this, let us take this one. Sine inverse 2x by 1 plus x square. In place of x, we are placing now tan y here. Just replace x with tan y, x with tan y. This becomes 2 into tan y by 1 plus tan square y, and this 2 tan y by 1 plus tan square y is nothing but sine 2y. Sine 2y is nothing but 2 tan y by 1 plus tan square y. This is the equation we know. We have known the trigonometric functions. So sine 2y is 2 tan y by 1 plus tan square y. So this is what? This is sine 2y. You can place sine 2y here. Sine inverse cancels. This becomes 2y. And y was what? Tan inverse x. So this becomes 2 tan inverse x. So sine inverse 2x by 1 plus x square becomes 2 tan inverse x. Also in this case, this one, cos inverse 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square, just place x as tan y in this. You get 1 minus tan square y by 1 plus tan square y. But we know that sine 2y, this cos 2y is equal to 1 minus tan square y by 1 plus tan square, this 1 plus tan square y. This is nothing but cos 2y. So you place cos 2y here, cos inverse gets cancelled, 2y. And what was y? Tan inverse x. So cos inverse this gives you 2 tan inverse x. This is the second one. So this is the very important relationship. You have to show that sine inverse 2x under root 1 minus x square is equal to 2 sine inverse x. This is in between, this x is in between minus 1 by root 2 to 1 by root 2. This lies between this range. So now, how to do this? For this, you have to be well versed with the formulas, the trigonometric relationship you need to know. We want something, what our intention is, we want to put something here so that we can get some sine stuff here, so that we will be able to cut the sine inverse and sine. So let us try, place x equal to sine theta here. This sine theta. So sine inverse x will be equal to theta. Take this equation. Sine inverse 2x under root 1 minus x square, we have taken x as sine theta. So 2 into sine theta under root 1 minus sine square theta. This under root 1 minus sine square theta is what? Cos square theta. So cos square theta under root is cos theta. 2 sine theta cos theta is nothing but sine 2 theta. This can be written as sine 2 theta. Sine inverse cancelled. 2 theta. But what was the theta? This is equal to 2 sine inverse x. This is proved. If you take x as cos theta, this cos theta, this will be equal to 2 into cos theta under root 1 minus cos square theta. So this will be equal to 2 cos theta. 1 minus cos square theta is sin square theta. Sin square theta, because there is root, so it will be sin theta. So this is again 2 sin theta cos theta. This will be equal to sin 2 theta. So sin inverse sin 2, this is equal to, because you have this, you have placed x equal to cos theta, and since we have this sin square theta, this again becomes sine 2 theta and sine inverse is already there. The sine inverse cancels. So you are left only with 2 theta. But theta here is what? Cos inverse x. This becomes 2 cos inverse x. This is the relation. We have to show that tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 2 by 11 is equal to tan inverse 3 by 4. And we know tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, we know the formula. So you just have to use that formula. Tan inverse a plus tan inverse b will be tan inverse a plus b by 1 minus ab. So you just have to solve this. This will be 15 by 20. You can simplify it to be 3 by 4. So it becomes tan inverse 3 by 4. Express tan inverse cos x 1 minus by 1 minus sin x in the simplest form. So there are so many methods. You can one method is, first method you can take is cos x. You can write as, cos x is nothing but means any cos 2 theta will be equal to cos square theta minus sin square theta. So cos x will be, what will be cos theta? That will be equal to cos square theta by 2 minus sin square theta by 2. For cos x, you can write cos square x by 2 minus sin square x by 2. Similarly, for 1, you can write sin square theta plus cos square theta. And for this sin x, you can write 2 sin x by 2 cos x by 2. Because sin 2 theta will be equal to 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. For this, you can write 2 sin x by 2 cos x by 2. This is what? A square minus b square cos square x by 2 minus sin square x by 2. You can write a plus b, a minus b for a square minus b square. So cos this one time plus, one time minus. In this case, this is nothing but a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this is nothing but a minus b whole square. Cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2 whole square. You can cancel this with this. This is remaining. And you can divide numerator and denominator by cos x by 2. So cos x by 2, cos x by 2, cos x by 2. This becomes 1, this becomes 1, this becomes tan x by 2, this becomes tan x by 2. So 1 plus tan x by 2, 1 minus tan x by 2, what is this? If you take 10 pi by 4 plus x by 2, 10 x plus y, you will get here 10 pi by 4 plus 10 x by 2 divided by 1 minus 10 pi by 4 into 10 x by 2. So you get this, and this is the result of 10 pi by 4 plus x by 2. So you can write 10 pi by 4 plus x by 2 here. 10 inverse cancels out, pi by 4 plus x by 2. This is the simplest form. There is another method also which you can employ. Tan inverse cos x by 1 minus sin x. For this cos x, you can write sin pi by 2 minus x. For this sin x, you can write cos pi by 2 minus x, because cos pi by 2 minus x is sin theta and sin pi by 2 minus x is cos x. So this will be, what this will be? You can solve it. Pi minus 2x by 2, this will be, and this pi by 2 minus x is pi minus 2x by 2. So you can write pi minus 2x by 2, pi minus 2x by 2. We know that this sin theta can be written as 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. This will be 2 sin this by 2 cos this by 2. Similarly, for 1 minus cos theta, this can be written as 2 sin square theta by 2. This is 2 sin square theta by 2, this theta by 2. And here you see this sin can be cancelled with this, 2 can be cancelled with this. You take this cos by sine of this theta, which will be equal to cot pi minus 2x by 4. Since this is cot, you want to change it into tan so that you can cancel out tan and tan inverse. So this becomes, because you know tan pi by 2 minus theta is cot theta. So for this cot, you can write tan pi by 2 minus theta. Tan inverse gets cancelled. This is pi by 2 minus pi minus 2x by 4. You solve it, you get pi by 4 plus x by 4. Write cot inverse 1 by under root x square minus 1 in this simplest form. For that, you can take, because the main key is you want cot here, so that you will be able to cancel this cot with cot inverse. If you take x equal to sec theta, this under root sec square minus theta will be tan square theta root will be tan theta. So this will be 1 by tan theta, and 1 by tan theta is what? Cot theta. So you can write cot theta. Cot inverse cancelled, this theta and theta can be taken as sec inverse x. Prove that tan inverse this x plus 2x by 1 minus x square is equal to tan inverse 3x minus x cube by 1 minus 3x square. In this, what we are going to see here, we'll take the right hand side. For right hand side, we'll replace this x with tan theta, because we know that this is the equation, or this is the formula of tan 3 theta. So x will take as tan theta. So this will be 3 into tan theta minus tan cube theta by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. And of course, if x is equal to tan theta, theta will be equal to tan inverse x, like this, because we are going to replace it anyway in the last. So tan inverse, we are taking the right hand side. For x, we are replacing with tan theta. So 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. This is nothing but tan 3 theta. This is the formula of tan 3 theta. This tan inverse gets cancelled. 3 theta. Theta is what? Tan inverse x. This is 3 tan inverse x. And 3 tan inverse x can be written as, like 3 can be written as 2 plus 1 or 1 plus 2. Similarly, 3 tan inverse x can be written as tan inverse x plus 2 tan inverse x. This is what? 2 tan inverse x is nothing but tan inverse 2x we have just seen by 1 minus x square. We can replace like this. This is equal to tan inverse x plus tan inverse 2x by 1 minus x square. This is your left hand side. Find the value of cos. This is sec inverse plus cosec inverse. So how to solve this? You want somewhere you can get cos inverse inside. So how to do this? There is not to do anything, because the sec inverse plus cos inverse x, this is again a property which says this 2 addition is nothing but pi by 2, and cos pi by 2 is what? 0. Miscellaneous examples on inverse trigonometric functions. First is find the value of sine inverse sine 3 by 5. So what you will be tempted that you will just cancel this sine inverse and you will write 3 pi by 5. But here we have to check whether, because this is sine inverse, this lie in the principal branch or not. For that, what we will do? We know that sine inverse sine x is nothing but x. That is 3 pi by 5 is 3 pi by 5. But 3 pi by 5 doesn't belong to the sine inverse x, this x range, that is the principal branch of sine inverse x. So it doesn't belong to minus pi by 2, or it doesn't lie between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. For that, what we will do? We know that sine theta is equal to sine pi minus theta. What we are going to do here is, we'll write 3 pi by 5 as pi minus 3 pi by 5, because these two are equal. So this 3 pi by 5, pi minus 3 pi by 5 is actually equal to 2 pi by 5. If you see pi minus 3 pi by 5, it will be 5 pi minus 3 pi by 5. That will be 2 pi by 5. And this 2 pi by 5 does belong to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So the answer or the value of this particular sine inverse trigonometric equation will be 2 pi by 3, not 3 pi by 3, 3 pi by 5. Show that sine inverse this minus sine inverse this is cos inverse this. So how to do this? First, what we'll do here is, we know that sine inverse 3 by 5 is x. That means sine x is equal to 3 by 5. And we also now know sine inverse 8 by 17. If we put it as y, sine y will be 8 by 17. And we know that sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. If we know the sine value, we can know the cos also. So cos will be under root 1 minus sine square x, and we will put sine x here. This will be cos x. Again, for sine y, we will try to find out the cos y. Why? I'll just show you, because the answer is in cos. So cos y is under root 1 minus sine square y, that is this 1 minus 8 by 17 whole square, that will be 15 by 17. Cos x and cos y are known. See, we will use this formula, cos x minus y. Cos x minus y is nothing but cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Cos x cos y sin x sin y we have just known. This is equal to 84 by 85. Let us take cos here. So cos inverse is 84 by 85, cos inverse. But x minus y, we know x was sin inverse 3 by 5, and y we took as sin inverse 8 by 17. That is why this is equal to the right hand side. Show that sin inverse 12 by 13 plus cos inverse 4 by 5 plus tan inverse 63 by 16 is pi. How to get this? First of all, we know sin inverse. Let us take it as x, this is y, and this is z. And we know that sin inverse x is 12 by 13, cos inverse y is 4 by 5, and tan inverse z is 63 by 16. Since we know the sin x, we can know the cos x value. Since we know the cos y, we can know the sin y value. And since we know this sin cos x and sin x now, we can know the tan x also. This is tan x is nothing but sin x by cos x. Similarly, the tan y also can be computed because sin y and cos y is known. So tan y will be sin y by cos y. Okay. These two are known now. We are left with this. Let us see. Tan x plus y will use this formula. Is nothing but tan x plus tan y 1 by 1 minus tan x tan y. Tan x we have found out. Tan y 1 minus tan x tan y. So this we have found out. This has a value of minus 63 by 16. And what was this? This is tan z. We have just known that this is nothing but your tan z. So we can equate it to tan z, but it is minus tan z. Since minus tan z, tan minus theta is equal to minus tan theta, so we can take minus inside. So this is minus z. And we also know that we can write tan minus z as tan pi minus z. Right? So tan pi minus z we can write. By this we know that x plus y is equal to pi minus z, because tan x plus y is equal to tan pi minus z. So x plus y is pi minus z, and because x, y and z are positive, will not take this value. We'll take this value, and x plus y plus z, take z here. X plus y plus z is pi, and we know x is sin inverse 12 by 13, y is cos inverse 4 by 5, and z is nothing but tan inverse 63 by 16, which is equal to pi. Simplify tan inverse a cos x minus b sin x by p cos x plus a sin x. If a by b, tan x should be greater than or equal to minus 1. What we can do here is we can divide numerator and denominator by b cos x. Why we are doing it with b cos x? B cos x. Since when we divide b cos x, this will become a by b, this will become tan x. Again, this will 1, and this will be 1, and this will be a by b tan x. So this is nothing but tan inverse x minus y 1 plus xy. What is this? Tan inverse a by b minus tan inverse tan x. So if you take tan inverse a by b minus tan inverse tan x, this will be similar to this. And this is nothing but, what is this? This gets cancelled, tan inverse tan. This will be tan inverse a by b minus, this gets cancelled, minus x. Solve tan inverse 2x plus tan inverse 3x is equal to pi by 4. So we know these, and we know the formula also. So we'll directly apply the formula. Tan inverse a plus b by 1 minus ab. This is equal to pi by 4, and this if we solve, we get 5x by 1 minus 6x square. What is this? This is nothing but tan pi by 4, tan 45 degree. This is 1. So tan pi by 4, that is 1. So now we equate this 5x 1 minus 6x square with 1, and when we solve, this is a quadratic equation. We get x equal to 1 by 6, x equal to minus 1. This doesn't satisfy. X by 6 is the only solution of this equation. Let us summarize the inverse trigonometric function, very important topic. The domains and range, please understand that sine, cos, they are continuous. So you cannot have 1:1 relation for this sin x. For that we have to take some part so that this part is 1:1, then only sine will have inverse, sine inverse. For that this part is nothing but the principal value branch. So all these principal value branch, for this inverse exists, for others it doesn't. So y is equal to sine inverse x. The domain is minus 1 by 1 and 1. The domain of sine x is the range of cos x. The range of sine x is the domain of cos x. This sine inverse x. You must know this. So y is equal to sine inverse x, because sine y equal to x, we know that the range of sine is minus 1 1. Here is sine inverse x, so the range will become the domain of sine inverse x. Similar for the cos inverse x. And these are the principal value branches for which this, say, graph you can say, or the function, this has an inverse value. Y is equal to cosec inverse. The domain is all real number except between minus 1 to 1. Similar for sec inverse x. And the range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. 0 is not included. Here pi by 2 is not included because here 1 by sine. So sine will be 0, and here the cos will be 0, because cosec is nothing but 1 by sine and sec is nothing but 1 by cos. To eliminate that idea of 0 on the denominator, we just don't take these values. And then tan inverse x, cot inverse x, there is no problem with the domain, all the real numbers, but the range will be minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 and 0 to pi. The same explanation goes for the range. Principal range for this function is 1 1 and 1 2 or bijective. Sine inverse and sine x whole inverse, they are different. Actually, sine x inverse, that is the minus 1 power, is 1 by sine x. The value of inverse trigonometric function that lies in principal value branch is known as the principal value. That principal value or principal value branch is where that trigonometric function has an inverse trigonometric function. For suitable value of domain, this has to be very, very well taken care of. This is very important, this domain and range in this. So if y is equal to sine inverse x, you can write sine y equal to x. Similarly, if x is equal to sine y, you can write sine inverse x is equal to y. Sine of sine inverse, this gets cancelled. Sine inverse of sine also, this gets cancelled. But you have to understand that this is sine theta. So the range and domain will be of sine theta. And here the sine, this will have a domain and range of the sine inverse theta. Sine inverse 1 by x is cosec inverse x. Cos inverse minus x can be written as pi minus cos inverse x. Similar for cot inverse minus x, pi minus cot inverse x. Sec inverse minus x is equal to pi minus sec inverse x. And as we just saw, sine inverse 1 by x or cosec inverse 1 by x is sine inverse x. Cos inverse 1 by x is sec inverse x. And tan inverse 1 by x is equal to cot inverse x. Now, sine inverse minus x is minus sine inverse x. Tan inverse minus x is minus tan inverse x. Cosec inverse minus x is minus cosec inverse x. When we add tan inverse and cot inverse, it becomes pi by 2. When we add sine cos, pi by 2. When we add inverse of cosec and sec, it becomes pi by 2. With tan inverse, if you add tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, it is tan inverse x plus y by 1 minus xy. If you take minus, you just have to change the y to minus y, you'll get this. If you change x, this y with x, you get 2 tan inverse x, that is tan inverse x plus x by 1 minus x into x, that is 2x by 1 minus x. How about 2 tan inverse x? This will be sine inverse 2x by 1 plus x square, and this is equivalent to cos inverse 1 minus x square by 1 plus x square. So this is about the inverse trigonometric function. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.